Hi, welcome back. And in this video lecture we are going to go to the page setting, how to set our page from the page layout, and then from this bar right here. Okay, so right here we'll have a page and we'll have a plus button right here which we can click to add a page. Now this plus right here adds a page behind, while this one right here adds a page in front. Okay, so let's click and see. So we've successfully added a page right here. So let's keep something on this page and keep something on page 1, so can be able to see what happens when adding another page in front. Okay, so let's keep a polygon right here. Sorry, that polygon is way too big. Reducing it and then bringing it. Oh my god, it's still very big. Drop it and bring it to this place. Oh, to shift the polygon is kind of a problem. Okay, so let's delete this first one, which is way too big for us, and then let's go to page 2 and maybe put a rectangle, and then let's drop. Now we want to add a page in front of these two pages. Remember, our page 1 has polygon, our page 2 has a rectangle, or maybe a square, but it's a rectangle anyways. So let's go to page 1. So let's come right here and click on this button to add a page in front. So we'll click. Now we'll have a page 1 again, and our page 1 before now turn to page 2. Remember, our page 1 then has a polygon. Now our page 1 is empty. Our page 2 now has the polygon, and then our page 3 has the rectangle. Okay, so this is how to add a page. Now how do you navigate through these pages? You can either click on each of the pages, but what if the pages are lined up to the point that this place is filled up and you want to navigate to each of them one after the other, and you can't get to these ones outside this place? You can just come right here and use this. You can just click to take you to page 2. Click on this, takes you to page 3. The same way, you can just click forward, it takes you to page 2, and takes you to page 1. Then this button right here, this one takes you, remember now we're on the first page, so this one takes you to the last page. So you want to navigate to the last page you have, you can just click right here and it will take you to page 4, which is our last page. The same way, you want to navigate to page 1, you can just click right here and it will take you to page 1. Okay, so this is not the only place you can get this thing done, but this is the shortcut and the quickest way. Remember, I like giving you the easiest way to get things done. So what if you can't get this thing done here? Maybe you downloaded a version of Corridor that doesn't have page setting right here, but I believe every version have the page setting right down here. Okay, you can come right here to your layout, and then you have insert page. So when you click on this insert page, it's going to bring a pop-up for you, and this pop-up will ask you the number of pages you want. Is it before or after? Just like we did here, the same thing that this plus icon here does is the same thing that this before does, and this one behind does the exact work of this after. Okay, so let's leave it after. Remember, our page 1 is empty and our page 3 has a square, a polygon. Sorry, our page 3 has a rectangle. So let's add another page after page 3. Okay, so let's come right here, and now we select how we want our page to appear. Remember, this thing is highlighted, so whatever we select here is never going to affect what we have on the first page. Okay, can select A6. Now we can select the width and the height. If we don't want A6, we can just customize it right here. The measurements, which you already know. Then maybe we should make it a landscape, so it will be different from other pages we already have. Okay, so right here is the existing page. How many pages do we have existing already? Is it 1, 2, or 3? So we can say 3 pages. So we cannot go beyond this because this is the pages we have. Now here is this existing page, where should I add a new page? Is it behind? Is it after the first page? Is it after the first page, or after the second page, or after the third page? So you have to make sure you select the page which you want another page to be added after. Okay, so like let's just make it after the first page, so you see. So let's click OK. We've added another page. Now our page 4 still have our rectangle, our page 3 still have the polygon, and then our page 2 is empty and it has the landscape which we set while adding our page, and our page 1 has the portrait which we set before when we added through here. Do you now understand how this thing works? So you have to choose where you want it to appear, after what, before what page, so you don't make mistakes. Okay, if you want it to keep adding after the last page, then you have to make sure that when you come to your layout and insert page, you have to make sure that this page 4 is selected. If not, it's going to keep adding to anywhere you left it. Okay, so I believe with this we can add our page the way we want it. Okay, so let's go back to layout and see what we have there. So here we'll have duplicate, where we can duplicate a page. Like maybe we made a design on page 1 or page 2 or page 3, and we want to duplicate the page so the design will appear 2 different ways. So let's use page 4 where we'll have square. Okay, and let's go and click on duplicate page, or click on this. Now it is going to ask us duplicate page 4. Yes, we want to duplicate page 4. Now, is it insert a new page before selected page? Is it before the page you're duplicating? Is it after the page you're duplicating? Let's duplicate after the page. Okay, now copy layer. Is it the layer only, or do you want to copy everything on the layer? That is, copy layers content and their contents. So we'll have to make sure that copy layers and their content is checked, so we can copy both the layer, that is the page, and then the polygon will have right on it. So let's click OK. Now we'll have page 4 with our rectangle, and we'll have page 5 with our rectangle. Okay, so we successfully duplicated a page. So let's go on. You can as well duplicate, insert and delete these pages right from here, just by selecting a page and right clicking on it. So here is where you rename a page. You insert page after, you insert page before, you duplicate a page, you delete a page, and you switch page orientation. I believe we know what we mean by page orientation, by switching either to landscape or to portrait. So if you don't get these things here, you can as well right click on the page to get all of them done. Okay, so let's go on and delete page 1 because there is nothing inside. Same way the second page, and leave the page that has polygon, leave the page that has square, and delete the third page that has square, and the fourth page that is empty. Okay, so now we'll have the polygon page and the rectangle page. Okay, so now let's go back to our layouts and go to delete page, which we know what delete page does. We can do it down right here. I don't need to go to that again. Now we'll have rename page. You can give your page a name. Let's just say you're designing a magazine and each of these pages has a name that they bear. You can just come right here and rename the page. So when you click on rename a page, it's going to ask you the name you want to give to your page. Right now we are on page 2, so let's call it square. Let's call it square. So let's call page 2 square, because that's the page that is carrying our rectangle, which looks like square anyways. So let's click OK. So our page 2 is now square. We can rename our page 1 to polygon. So the same way you can rename your pages to what you want them to bear, so that you can easily locate which page contains what you're looking for. Okay, so let's go back to our layout and see other options we have there. We have delete page. We'll have to go to page. We have go to page. Okay, So go to page. What page do you want to go to? This is the easy way of navigating through the page. I told you can locate them from here. And then maybe you have multiple pages, multiple, that they are so big that you can't easily locate any of them by going through here, or maybe taking them one by one may not be fast for you. You can just go to page and then select the page you want. You can just say we want page 2 because we are recently on page 1, and then we can click OK and it will take us to page 2. So this is how you get to your pages easily and very fast. Okay, so let's go back to layout, and then we'll have insert page number. Now, do you want your pages to bear number? Okay, so this one is on active layer. Is it the active page? Now the active page here is a page with square, and that is page 2. So if we click on active page, it's going to insert number on page 2, and our page 1 will not have any number on it. If we come back to page 2, we see that page 2 has 2 already. Okay, so let's go back to our layout and insert number on all pages. Okay, now we'll have on odd pages, that is pages are different from other ones, and all even pages that looks alike. Okay, let's go on and click on all pages. Now our page 1 is going to be a 1, which is right here, and it is not up. Let me bring it up. And our page 2 is going to be a 2. Remember, this has to duplicate because we already inserted a number before. So let me delete the first number I inserted and leave the second one. Now our pages have numbers. Okay, sorry, I made a mistake. Let's go to our edit and undo delete, and so that, because I deleted the one that was inserted and it's affected the first one right here, so I am going to delete the second one and not the first one. So let's go back to page 1, and our number is still there. Okay, so we'll have number on page 1 and number on page 2. So the more we add pages, the more we get them numbered. So let's add page 3, and so it's going to be a 3. Let's add page 4, and this way it will continue moving to the last page you're going to have. Okay, so now let's go back to page layout and see what we have. Page number setting. Now this is where you set how you want the numbers to appear. Where is the number going to start from? Is it from page 1 and start on page? And here is where you change what kind of number do you want. Is it numbers, normal numbers, Roman numerals? Is it the capital letter or the small letter? Is it alphabet? You can decide to check alphabet and click OK, and you see every pages bears alphabet A, B, C, D. So this is how you make your page changes depending on what you really want to get. Now this is switching page orientation, that is switching from landscape to portrait. This one is portrait, and we switch page D to landscape. Page C is still portrait. Page B is still the page with our square, and page A, that is page 1, is still the page with our polygon. Okay, so let's go back to the layout and see the rest of the thing we'll have there. Now we have document option. Let's go to document option. Now is where you set your document. Remember I told you this is page view. Now fill open curves. Is there open curves that you need to fill, or auto inflate bitmap? These things we don't need them. We should just leave them checked the way they are. Here is how we want our page to appear. Is it twin frame, normal, enhanced? We're going to get to this thing because we can locate these things in our view. That is where we'll change our page, not just page setting, the entire workspace setting. Let's leave it at enhanced. Then we'll have page view, how we want our page to appear. Now if we click on this, that means all the pages may appear on just one place. Let's click OK. We're getting back to this to change every other thing. So this is our page view. See our first page, our second page. You can just scroll here to get all the pages at once, but we want to be getting each of them one after the other and not having all of them lined up in just one workspace. Okay, so let's go back to our layout and go back to document option and then change it to a single page. Okay, so this is where you set your duplicate offset, which we already set before in our workspace, and we left it at 1.0 1.0. You can just click OK and everything will return back to normal. So this is our page D. This is our the third page. Let me just scroll so I get it to the middle, and this is the page with square, and this is our page with polygon. So I believe everything is flowing well. So let's go back to our layout and pick the rest of the thing. Now here is where you resize the page. You can resize the page right here, which you can as well do right here. Okay, so if you can't do them here, maybe you lost this bar, you can just go to your layout and this option will come where you make your resizing. You can just pick a default size. You can just give it a size that you have. You can just change the orientation, apply size to current pages only. Is it the page you are on that the size will appear, or do you want it to appear on all the pages? Once you uncheck this, that means any resizing you're making is going to affect every other page, so we'll have to keep it checked. Show page border. Page border is this space between the workspace and the background entirely. So this is the page border all through, and this is our page. Okay, so if we uncheck this, that means we're going to lose our page border. So let's keep it checked. This is add page frame. Do you want your page to have a frame or not? And here is where you change your resolution, and remember it has to be 300 if you want your work to appear in it. Anywhere you get it, anywhere you put it, it has to be 300. Then this is bleed. That is the space that you'll be left. Bleed is just the space that you have to leave, so that when you're printing your work, if there is any cutting, it will not affect the actual work you have inside. So you have to set your bleed to the number you want it, so that it depends on the work you're designing and how the printing will go. Now you can show the bleed area by checking this, or you can just uncheck it so that the bleed area is already there. You don't have to check it. Okay, so let's click OK, because we don't want to make much settings here. You can as well delete a page from here, delete, and get page size from printer. Maybe you have a printer that you're working with, and this printer has a particular size of page that it prints, so you have to get the size here in order to insert the size right here, so that when you're making the printing, it will not complicate things for you. Okay, so let's go on and click OK, and this is what we have. So now let's go back to our layout and see if we have more things there. Now page size, which you have treated. Now page layout is how this our page appears. Look, we'll have here, we'll have the border, and then we'll have the workspace. Do we just want only the workspace? How do we want it to be? This is where you change the general setting, the page size, the background. So every other thing we did right here before, we can as well do all of them here. Okay, so let's cancel this. We don't want to make any changes on our page layout. Go back to the layout and page background. Now this is where you choose the background of your page, and the normal background is white. Here there is no background. That is, it means that this background is transparent. There is nothing inside. So we can change the background by going to solid. That is the background color. You can just pick any color of your choice right here, and at the end you click OK. Then you can just check this bitmap if you want to get an image to use as your background. You can just go to browse. It will take you to your folder where you have various images. You can just pick an image. Let's pick this one and import it, and then we have unchecked solid and we have default. We can say OK. So let's come down right here and click on OK, and it is going to change our background to the color we have. Do you see that? We have changed our background color. Now it has to duplicate multiple times because the size is very, very small. All right, so let's go back to our page background and uncheck bitmap, then come and check our solid and then change it back to white, or maybe let's go to blue and see how it looks like. And when we click OK, we'll have blue background right here. And then we don't want blue, we'll go back to our layout, our background, and we go to the no background and check. Okay, so there is no background again. That is what we have before. So let's go to the layout and treat the last thing we have there. Now this is border and grommet. Now this is this border is the area between our object and the background. So let's just click on add border. You see, this is the area we are designing and this is our background. This shows that the space between our workspace and this background, that is this border line, is our border. Okay, we can change grommet. Grommet is just like a padding, the space between your workspace and then your object is called the grommet. So this is where you change the numbers here, how you want them to appear, how big you want your border to be, or how small you want your border to be. But trust me, these changes you may not need them now, so when we need them we'll get to them. Okay, so let's go on and cancel this. So with this now, I believe we've gone through everything on this layout, and I believe you understand perfectly how each of them works. I told you from this place to this place right here, that is from insert page to go to page. If you are not able to remember where you can locate it, which is in layout, you can just come right here. Maybe you have a quick work you're doing and you want it to be quick, you can just come to any page of your choice and right click, and it's going to give you all the options right here. Okay, so I believe with this we know everything on our page layout and how we can set our page and make it the way we want it. So let's go on and make sure that our page is set to the thing we want to design before making any design. So in our next video lecture we are going to continue with the tools and then how to work with them. So thank you very much and see you in Hi, I welcome you back to this video lecture, and in this video lecture we are going to learn how to set our page view right from our menus here, from this one right here, which is view. So everything right here on our page, but the roller, the scroll bars, and every other thing we have here, we can make the setting right here on our page view. Okay, so when we click on our page view, this one right here, which is wireframe, when you keep this one checked, it tells the page to see everything as a frame. Okay, we can even draw an object and trying to give it a color, we can't do that because everything right on this page is considered a frame and nothing but a frame. Okay, so we can as well go to the view and change to normal. This is just normal page. You see we have our color right back. Okay, we can as well change to enhance. This one is the default setting. Here your page is just enhanced. Now everything is you do right here appears the way it should be. Okay, now let's see the difference. When we take it to normal, our color becomes blue, and when we take it to enhance, it changes the blue color to something darker, but trust me, it's still a blue color. It's just that it changes our color palette from RGB to CMYK. Okay, you can choose any of these depending on how you want your page to appear. If you want the colors to be visible enough, you keep it on normal. If you want it to be with CMYK view, you can keep it on enhanced. Okay, so right here is where you set your page with pixels. Everything you do here is going to appear as a pixel. Right here we've done the setting, but we can't see these pixels until we scroll. So because the pixels are really very tiny space in our object, okay, we'll have to scroll very well. Now here are the pixels. So pixels are very, very tiny, and you can't just see it with normal eyes. You have to scroll very well for you to be able to detect the pixels in any object. Okay, so this one views an object and everything with their pixels, but you have to scroll to get them. So let's scroll back right here. You can go back right here and change it to normal. So that's not all, we'll have every other thing. This is how we want our preview to appear. We can go with full screen preview. You can just click on it to take it back to normal screen. Okay, you can go with preview selected only, that is preview only the object we selected. So we can just click on this and it's just be the object that is selected. Okay, so we can just click on it to take us right back. We can as well go to page sorter view. This helps you to sort a page of your choice. So when you click on this, it's going to bring all the pages we have right here, and you can sort out the page you want from here. All right, so we can go back and check this so it goes back to the way it is before. And right here we have multiple page view, whereby we can view our page all in just one. We can just drag right here to see the various pages we have right here. Okay, so but we want to navigate through each page, all right, one after the other. So let's go back and uncheck the multiple page view. So right here we'll have zoom in and zoom out, which we've talked about right here in our toolbar. So if you can't get it done from your toolbar, you can as well do that from here. Okay, so you can zoom in right from here. So our background zoomed out entirely. Okay, so let's go back to our view and click on zoom in. So it keeps becoming big. So the more you click, the more it zooms in. So the same way you can zoom out, all right, just as you want, but you can also do that with your scroll button. So here again we'll have zoom to fit. We want to zoom to fit it to our page. Okay, so it zoomed only the selected object and it fitted it to the page. So maybe we're working on this object in particular, we can use zoom to fit to make everything we're doing more visible. So you can use your scroll bar to scroll and zoom more, and you can reduce with your scroll bar. Okay, all right, so right here we can go and zoom out where we want it. We can use our scroll bar to keep it at the middle, and we can use our scroll button to zoom out. All right, so let's come right here and see other ones. Here is our color proof. Okay, this is a proof that we have two different colors, CMYK and RGB. You see the color changes to CMYK, and when we go back right here on our view and uncheck this color proof, it's going to give us RGB color just like we'll have before. So again here we'll have simulate over print, and we'll have rasterize complex effect. This has to come in when we have more than one object right on our screen. Okay, so here is where we'll set our page. We'll set page border right here, we'll set bleed, and we'll set printable area. Okay, we pick the page border because we want the page to be the way it is. We can select bleed. This bleed actually helps us, especially in time of printing work. Sometimes you may make a design that occupied the whole of this place. So with this bleed on, whenever you want to print the work, it will add automatically a background right here on its own. It can be white or any color, so at the end of the day nothing in your work will be cut out. So let's go back and go and check. This one is printable area. We can as well select the printable area. So this area is the area that is printable, that is the area that has our object. Okay, so we can uncheck all this because we don't want them if you're not printing right now, and leave only the page border. So let me go back right here and uncheck printable area as well. So let's zoom in. Okay, so right here we'll still have other things. We'll have grid. This helps us to add grid line to our workspace. Okay, once you keep this thing check, it adds grid line. Now this grid line helps you to make your measurement, just like showing you the pixels, and you can just add whatever you want, and with these grid lines you can adjust it and get it perfectly where you want it to be. So grid line helps you to make adjustments and make measurements as well. Okay, so not just that, we have other grid lines here. We'll have baseline grid. Okay, baseline just appears only on the workspace. So let's go on and uncheck the first grid we added, which is the document grid. So here is our baseline grid. It only appears on the workspace. Okay, so let's go to the ruler. Now this ruler, once we uncheck it, everything right here will go, because these are our ruler. It helps us to make adjustments and make sure that everything fits in right where we want them to be. Okay, so we can just uncheck and the ruler is gone. We can just keep it checked and the ruler is back. So ruler helps you to keep your objects where you want them to be. It can help you make adjustments, especially when you have multiple objects that you want them to be on the same line. You can use your ruler to do those things. So let's uncheck this baseline grid, so we'll have only the rectangle and the workspace. So how to apply your ruler? You can just come right here with your cursor and drag down, okay, to the area where you want it to be. You can just drag this as well. So you can drag as many lines, as many ruler lines as possible as you wish. Okay, and if you want to delete them, you can just make sure the cursor is placed on the line, and you now have this tiny horizontal line showing you that you can click. Then you can right click right on the ruler and delete it. So you can just go on and delete all these rulers one after the other. Okay, so let's go back to our view and see other things. Here we'll have guidelines. Now this guideline helps us, especially when we're moving our object. We unchecked it, so it does not guide us where we can place the object. So let's go back and keep the guideline checked. So now we have our ruler back, and then whenever we're moving our object, we'll see like a line that looks like ruler. It helps to guide us in placing an object. Okay, this tells me that I'm at the middle of this workspace, so I can place it right here. I'm at the center, not at the middle. All right, so the guideline helps you to adjust your objects where you want them to be. It dictates the center and the middle of the object, okay, depending on what you want to do. So let's go back to our view, and this is alignment line. It helps you to align your objects just the same way guideline does. So we just have to keep all of them checked so we can be able to move our object and align it at the place we want it without having issues. Okay, we kept this on check, so we can check it. So we'll say alignment guide again. So this one can even align either vertically or horizontally, just the same thing the grid line does. Okay, so we also have dynamic guide. I believe these three things do the same thing. All of them helps you to make adjustments on your object, placing it where you want it to be, and it helps you to align them perfectly. So let's keep this checked. So right here we'll have our snap tool. Okay, we'll have document grid, we'll have pixel. We can go to snap to object, so snap to whatever we want. Okay, so this doesn't have much effect on our background, so we don't really need it. So right here we'll have document navigator, which is this right here. This that helps us to navigate through the page. So if we're not interested in having this right here, we can just uncheck this, and you see the navigator goes, and we'll have only the workspace. But we need the navigator so we can get to other pages whenever we want them, so we'll have to keep it checked. All right, so the last one here is the scroll bar, which is this bar right here, which helps us to scroll right and left and up and down right from here. Okay, so if we don't want this, we can uncheck this, and you see the scroll bars will disappear. We only have to use our zoom button right on our mouse to make these things happen, but we really need them so we can easily do the things we want to do quickly. Okay, so with this, I believe we understand everything on the view setting right here. So everything right here also comes right here. Okay, these are the shortcuts where you can get the settings on this view. So here is where you can add your ruler. If you check this, the ruler goes. If you check it and the ruler comes back, here is the grid line, here is the guideline. You have to keep it checked or unchecked for you to see the effect. Okay, here is the snap tool. Select a method for aligning objects on the page. So you can select any method of aligning objects on the page, which will have the guideline, will have the objects, who can as well use baseline grid and document grid, but let's leave it with this two. Okay, or let's just uncheck this and leave it only with this object. So this helps you to align your object on the workspace. Okay, so whichever one you select is the one it's going to show you whenever you're making your alignment right on the workspace. Okay, so I believe with this we understand how to set our page view. So whenever you have an issue with your page, maybe you can't find your rulers or your scroll bars, you just have to come to view and make sure that all these things right here and right here are checked. Okay, if not, you may encounter a problem. So I believe we understand a lot here, so let's go on and practice more and more and get used to it. So thank you very much, and see you in my next video lecture.